Good morning. Good morning. Just loading up Instagram on this phone. I want to go live. Oop, hold on. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Make sure I'm on the right account. I'm going live. All right. Let's start that. Oh, yeah, beautiful. All right. Good morning, Instagram. Hello. Good morning, YouTube. And let me get Facebook fired up on this one. Yes, Thursday morning. We're expecting some weather to come through. Oh, I don't need this on. There's nobody else in this building. Good morning. Oh yeah. All right. Nobody's on YouTube right now, but we got some people on the IG. Good morning to you. Let me fire up Facebook real quick. Live video. Start the live. Yes. All right. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I just wanted to make sure that I was available to discuss any of the specifics based on the announcement and the vote from the school board, and then answer any questions. So we know now that we are going to return to in-person for our cohort 4 students beginning March 9th, which means that all of our families have the option to either stay virtual or to return in person 5 days a week. Yesterday afternoon, I sent a message to all of our families. I actually sent 2 separate messages. Half of our families are in our system as staying virtual, and half of our families are in our system as in person. And I sent out a form with some information to help you make that decision. I only need the form filled out if you're going to change. So the email that I sent you was specific to whether your child was virtual or in person. If you want to stay as we have you, don't do anything. You're good to go. Do not fill out that form. Do not let me know. We are good to go if we have you in the system because I put it as underlined in the top part of the message. If you would like to change, for instance, if you got the email from me because your child is virtual now and you want to change to in-person, then fill out the form. When you open up the form, the very first thing you see is a confirmation. Do you want to change or not? If the answer is no, it's going to submit the form and not let you complete it. If the answer is yes, you'll click next, and it'll take you to where you fill out the information, child's name, student ID number, confirming once again that you want to change, and then a spot for you to select transportation. And the 2 transportation options that I need to know about are bus or not bus, or something other than bus. So that information is with you. You got the information centrally, and then you got the follow-up from me. We are not going to change much. There's one major change, and that's the requirement of the face shield for students as well. But everything else is going to stay the same. The way we did the one-way halls, the way we synchronous day, and then 2 days, the other half of the students, that's not a thing anymore. It is full on 5 days. So if you as a student and you as a parent and as families select to be in person, you will be in the building 5 days a week. If you choose to stay virtual, then you will be virtual 5 days a week. There are no intentions for us to change anything with scheduling, classes, teachers. So we're going to keep it rolling. We're not even changing the bell schedule. We made that last final adjustment right before Thanksgiving, and we agreed that we would keep that bell schedule consistent throughout the rest of the year, no matter what. If we were virtual, hybrid, in person, just to minimize the amount of changes, and to keep things as consistent as possible, because it's important during this time of uncertainty and time of just rapid change. We got to have some type of consistency. And if we can keep the times of days when students are learning consistent, then we will. There will be an adjustment to when your seminar meets, because when starting March 9th, seminar will be an everyday thing, but it won't necessarily be at 11. If you remember, when we were hybrid, seminar times were different because of the way we had to rotate through lunch. So your seminar teacher for our students and also for our parents will communicate when the exact seminar time is. I think that's a rundown. So feel free. I've got the comments turned on for all three outlets here. If you've got some questions or comments or anything you need me to think about or look into or answer right away, this is why I'm here. I want to make sure that I'm responsive to your needs. I wanted to do this ASAP. As soon as we had enough information where I could give you some intelligible answers. You still might get an I don't know from me, but I promise you, you're going to get everything that I do know around that I don't know. And if you ask a question that I do know, of course, you're going to get that answer. So feel free to chime in, send me your questions through the comments. I can monitor all three as we're going. I kind of went into it, right? I didn't say good morning. I didn't say hello. I didn't say thank you for joining me this morning. How rude of me. I just went like right in. Well, that's the efficiency in me coming out. But let me put the human side and the fact that I'm human and you're human and we need to be humans together. Good morning. I hope you are well. I hope that you are finding ways to stay connected with others. I hope that you are finding ways to continue to do the things that bring you joy and to find joy and to lean in with gratitude, because it would be very easy for all of us to just kind of flounder in uncertainty, flounder in negativity, flounder in, just everything. But I don't encourage staying there. And attitude is a choice, and we know that, and we're all subject to it. Last week was not a good week for me, and it's okay. I've said this to you before, and I'm gonna say it again. It is okay to not be okay. It is okay to have thoughts of negativity, thoughts of uncertainty, thoughts of despair, but we can't let those thoughts fester and really brush some of those things aside, recognizing that they're real, and it's okay that you feel those things. But I promise you, if you don't find ways to be grateful for the things you do and that you have, it'll be very easy not to put on a happy face. So for me, last week was not a good week. It's been a rough 6 weeks for me, actually. Really, ever since the insurrection at the Capitol, it's been rough. We take the highs and lows together. So good morning. I hope you are well. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm so grateful that on an early Thursday morning, you chose to tune in. We've got a couple on YouTube. We've got a couple on Instagram, and we got a couple on Facebook. So thanks for joining me. So Alexis, thanks for sending this very long one and making me read a lot. I just wanted to confirm that once a student has made a decision, but that is a decision that they need to stick with. I had a student ask me yesterday if they could come in and see how they like in person and they choose to go back to virtual. Could they? And per your email, I just want to make sure that this is not the case and that was a make the decision. They had to stick with that decision. Yeah, so Alexis, putting me on the spot like that. So we've been asked to stay firm with the decisions that are made. I'm just going to leave it right there. All right. I'm on Instagram again. My son goes to tech in person and right now drives. So if stay virtual at Dale, he can continue to drive to CTC. Yes, absolutely, Ms. Doher. Absolutely. Christina Jordan likes Facebook better. I'm on Facebook right now. Christina Jordan, will we be keeping the 6 foot distance? For me, absolutely. That is the second or third most critical thing for us to nail. So we are going to stick to the 6 foot distance. Once I have all of your data about really who's going to be in person, then we'll start looking at classes that there are too many students to be able to keep 6 feet, and we might start moving some rooms around. That is a reality. But the 6 foot thing is extremely important to me. We have been given clearance that if we need to go less than 6 feet, we can. That's why the face shield is a thing, but it is something that I want to avoid. The 6 foot thing is a real, it's a tremendous mitigating factor that I want to sustain. All right. All right, we're rolling. Keep them coming. You all always ask great questions. Alexis, I'm just giving you a hard time. You didn't put me on the spot. I want to handle things on a case by case basis. I want to use common sense, but I also want to uphold what I was directed to do. Good morning. Good morning. Can you all, I don't see my little green bar moving on YouTube. So my friends on YouTube, can you do me a favor? Just in the little live chat, just put, yes, we can hear you, or no, we can't. Well, obviously nothing will come through in the chat if they can't hear me. Let me put it in the chat. I might also have some people who are trying to help me get my public watch hours up on YouTube. So they might have just turned it on and just have it on in the background, not knowing that they can't hear me. Oh, well, I'm going with it. All right. Is the face shield only when 6 feet cannot be attained? Yeah. So that's a great question. I mean, that was, at first we were told face shield no matter what. And then we saw the information about face shield when 6 feet cannot be attained. What we will do at Thomas Dale is when students transition, absolutely face shield. And in any classroom that their students are 6 feet apart, when they're in the classroom, they can take the face shield off if they're able, if we have 6 feet. If 6 feet is impossible to maintain in a classroom, then the face shield will have to go on. I'm on Instagram questions now. All right. Shanika Reeves, good morning. If there is a case of COVID in the school, will you shut down temporarily for cleaning and the students resume virtually? So that is not the protocol. So the way it works is anyone in close contact, which is within 6 feet for 15 minutes or more over the course of 24 days, is quarantined. But we keep it moving because our protocols are so tight. I mean, we sanitize between every class change. It is cleaned by our staff every single night. There's no reason for us to have to do that, which is why our big five. And I'm gonna take this opportunity to kind of put out my big five. So Ms. Reeves, thank you so much for asking. Here's my big five. Number one, if you are sick, stay home. That is the best way to avoid the spread of COVID-19, right? Is to not bring it into a public space. So if you are sick, stay home. You can always tune in virtually. Number two, wear your mask. Number three, maintain at least 6 feet physical distance. Number four, we have sanitation protocols in place for a reason, to kill anything on any surfaces. And number five, hand hygiene is important. Keep your hands clean and sanitized. So if we follow those big five, we're going to be just fine. If you're sick, stay home, wear your mask, 6 foot physical distance, sanitation, and hand hygiene. If we're good with that, if we nail that, I promise you we're going to be just fine. Daniela Hughes, when is the SOL testing for the kids? So we don't have a set calendar yet for SOL testing. Typically, we do writing in March for our juniors and our sophomores. Because of the PBA kind of, we didn't get to use it last year for the sophomores. We're probably going to have to look at the writing test for the juniors. And then May is typically when the SOLs are. We are currently bringing in what we call term grads. That means we have some seniors who need some SOL tests to graduate in June. So we're bringing them, like yesterday we had 3. The day before, I think we had 11. So very few coming into the building right now to take the SOLs. So the SOL time frame is forthcoming. We don't have solid dates just yet. Baby Girl Farmer 757. Do you have any guidance as far as vaccine? My son is high risk and Chesterfield Health Department isn't helping. So that, unfortunately, I can't answer that. I know that the rest of our staff gets their first dose today. Matter of fact, they start at 9 o'clock today. We go from 9 to 2 to vaccinate dose 1 for the rest of our staff. We've had all of our cohort 1 faculty and staff vaccinated. 53 additional staff were vaccinated last week, and then the remainder of our staff are receiving their dose 1. Those staff who are electing to get it. It is not mandatory for our faculty and staff to get the vaccine. And so those who have elected to get the vaccine, the rest of those folks will receive it today. And Baby Girl Farmer 757, I apologize, but there is no control I have over Virginia Department of Health, the Chesterfield Health Department. I really don't know, and I'm not sure when teenagers are on the list. I do believe, I'm not even going to speak out of turn. So I that's not a question that I can answer. All right, Instagram, one more. How are teachers preparing for students for SOLs prior to COVID? Teachers reviewed with them. It'll be the same, Ms. Stover. Not every student has to take the SOL for the class that they're in. That's one thing that I want to make sure. Once a student has the verified credit in that subject area, for instance, if the student passed, geometry in 9th grade and got the SOL credit, they don't need to take another math. And the same goes for history. Biology, if a student is in biology, we do need to take that because that is a national accreditation standardized test. So our teachers have done an awesome job of getting the content into play that is absolutely critical for students, and we'll go from there. The good news is that we've been granted some flexibility with those tests to help students so that it's not as pressure as it has been in the past. I think we're learning a lot during this crisis. All right, going over to Facebook now. All right, I just answered the question about the face shield. What happens if a child continuously doesn't wear a mask? Christina Jordan, that is a great question. So when we did this the first time, we of course we need to give teenagers redirection because they're teenagers. Almost all of our students responded to redirection. There were only 2 cases where we had to call home and be very clear with the parent and the child to let them know that if their child cannot adhere to the mask standard, they will need to stay home and learn virtually. And that'll be my stance right now. Our students did wonderfully. It wasn't something that we had to worry about because we have awesome kids who know how to follow to meet expectations and follow the rules and follow the standards. When it doesn't happen, we redirect you and boom, the student adjusts and it's good. For a student who can't just refuses to wear the mask, they will be learning virtually. Ms. O'Berry, is there a protocol for closure based on level of infection within a school or the county? In terms of it, like an infection rate or a number of positive cases, right now we don't have what that number would be. I'm not certain if it exists or if we will develop that as we go. But right now, Ms. O'Berry, I don't have that. Will the method of transportation we choose, driving/bus, remain the same, or will we have the option to change that decision for some or all of the days? So if, Ms. Johnson, if you're going to need the bus at all, period, one day a week or whatever you're going to choose, please put bus so that they can route the bus for your child. The other side of that too, I want to be upfront with you that as the bus drivers go, bus stops that are consistently, like if we have you as bus and you don't use it and the bus driver continuously goes to that bus stop and over the course of time, there is no one at the bus stop to pick up or drop off, then they will make adjustments to that route. So I just ask you to be aware of that. But if you intend to use the bus at all, at any time, then choose bus on that form for me. Kimberly Dupree Britt, when will we know if our senior has to take an SOL to qualify for graduation? Maybe you were referring to missed test last year. Yep, absolutely, you got it. If your child needed it, you would have known by now. Our testing coordinator is awesome. She is on it. She's highly communicative and has already been through that process. So if you didn't know this was going on, then you're okay. Jackie Lepoli, is this currently just a Q&A? Yes. So I gave the information at the front end of this. So if you wanted to see kind of my short little spiel of information, once this is over, I will archive. You can go back and watch the front end. Right now it is Q&A. Lena Carmenauer, how and when do we notify TDHS of changes in child's learning accommodations, i.e. virtual instead of in person? So you received, all parents received a message from me yesterday afternoon. I sent it out at 4:45. I sent out 2 separate messages. If we have you in the system as virtual and you want to stay virtual, don't do anything. If we have you in the system as virtual and you want to change to in person, then fill out the form that I sent in that email. And Lena Carmenar, if you did not get the email from me yesterday at 4:45, send me an email today and I'll make sure you get it. Joy Prickett, another SOL question. If a student is taking geometry in 10th grade, but got their verified credit last year, 9th grade in algebra, do they still need to take the SOL for geometry? Nope, they do not. Once a child has their verified credit, they're good for graduation once they've taken their verified credit in the high school, because we have to make them, yeah. We have to have them take the SOL test at least once in high school. So if, Ms. Prickett, if your child or children, because I know you got 2 here, pass that Algebra 1 in the 9th grade, then they don't need to take it in geometry. They'll be good to go. All right, I'm going to hop over here to Instagram to see. All right, okay. Looking good. It looks like I'm caught up. Keep them coming. You all always ask me such great questions, some of which I don't know and some of which I do know, some of which I can answer and some of which I really don't know. Jacqueline, yeah, yes, it is always okay if you leave. It won't hurt my feelings, I promise. Oh, goodness. Good morning. Good morning. I know we have some turnover. We've had some folks leave. So folks pop in. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to be available for any questions that you have or anything that you need or any comments, just being available on all of our major platforms that I can live stream. And so with the exception of one, I am not streaming live on Snapchat, or I'm sorry, on TikTok right now. I am streaming live on YouTube right here, Instagram right here, and Facebook right here. So send your questions. Bye, Jackie. Have a great day. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in, staying informed, staying engaged, asking great questions. We've said this all along. Information is power. And if we have the information, we need to share the information so that we can share the power. Any graduation thoughts? Kimberly Dupree Britt. I've got a lot of thoughts about graduation. So we, as a group of principals, we've been asked to share what our ideas are. I don't believe, and this is just me speaking, I don't believe we're going to be in a place in the Commonwealth of Virginia to have a VCU graduation with 5,000 people in the same place at VCU. I don't think that's going to be a thing. So, for me, there are a couple of things that I'm pushing for. The first thing that I'm pushing for is a stadium graduation, where we graduate our kids on the football field. That's what I'm advocating for. If I can't have that, then maybe we bring everybody into the parking lot and do some kind of walk across the stage and set up a stage on the sidewalk of the student parking lot. And then the third case would be something similar to what we did last year, but maybe do groups of students instead of just one family at a time. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I don't know the date. I don't know the time. I don't know the location. I don't know the format. I just know that hearing from our seniors and hearing from our community, that's kind of the order that you guys want. The most amount of people that we can bring together simultaneously, we need to do that. So just so you know what I'm advocating for, that's what I'm advocating for. All right. All right. Bum, bum, bum. I missed the beginning, but virtual will continue to look like it currently does, right? Same. Yep, absolutely. Christina Jordan, thank you for answering that. Awesome. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? All right. Stacy Ninnis Waddell, is there an option to switch back to in-person if they lift the face shield requirement, not the mask requirement, but having to wear both? So, I mean, obviously things are case by case basis. I've been asked to not honor like a back and forth request. I'll say this, it is much more difficult for us to have a student start virtual and then change to in-person than it is for a student to start in person to change virtual. But I've been asked to stand firm on the decisions that are made. So I'm going to say that and I'm going to leave it there. Kimberly Dupree, Britt, prom. Yes, we actually have, so we've got May 22nd marked on our calendars for our prom date. What the prom looks like, I don't know. We do have a prom planning committee, and I forget what theme they came up with. And I'm not going to, even if it comes to mind, I'm not going to reveal it because they probably want to do a big reveal. So even if I remember what the theme is, but we started pricing a couple of different things for us to be able to do it. I have no idea. I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to bring 1,200 students because I think 1,200 was the number that we had at our last prom. I don't think that's going to be a thing. But they're planning for a bunch of different scenarios and a bunch of different ways it could look. So we want to have it. We've got it marked on our calendars for May 22nd. What it looks like, I am still absolutely uncertain. Yes, and we are too, Kimberly Dupree, looking for ways to celebrate them all. Hey, Lexi, good morning. I'm gonna flip back over. What about homecoming? And I'm guessing print is prom. Oh yeah. So yeah, I just discussed prom. Same thing with homecoming. So right now we've got homecoming marked. Our homecoming football game. Hold on, I got it right here. We chose the Bird game, which I believe is our second home game of the football season, to be our homecoming. So right now we've got March 12th as our tentative homecoming football game. And March 13th, the very next day, Saturday, is what we have earmarked for homecoming dance. Let me say this. I have no idea because we are exactly 1 month away. And obviously I don't see us being able to have, 1,500 students come in for homecoming dance. So more to come. We want to have some type of homecoming celebration. We've only got about 4 weeks to plan it. And yes, it is on our minds. And yes, it is something that we want to try to deliver on. What it looks like and how we do it, I have no idea. All right, nothing in nothing on YouTube. I've caught up to Instagram. All right, back to Facebook. Stacy Ninnis Waddell, is the virtual in-person decision made until the end of the 9 weeks or until June? It's through the end of the year. Will in-person look like it did in the fall? Yep. Yes, ma'am. We do not plan to make many changes. Safety is the very first priority, maintaining the safety, especially with the health considerations for our faculty, staff, and students. And then the high quality instruction is right there. I know that with our safety precautions and the mitigation factors that we have to put in place, instruction does suffer just a little bit, and it makes it 20 million times harder for our teachers to do dual audience. But for us to be able to keep students in the same classes, same teacher, same schedule, we couldn't do much disruption to that. So we've learned some lessons from the fall to improve the quality of dual audience. But outside of that, I mean, one-way hallways, phased class changes, eating lunch in the classrooms, those things will remain the same. March 12th, 2020 was the last day they were at school. Would be kind of cool if they were able to have something. Thanks for adding something to my task list, Ms. Garson. I appreciate you. Because I don't have enough to do already. Just kidding. If you have an idea and you're willing to help me lift it, then send it my way. Military ball. So Rebecca Ennis, I hope I said your last name right. Inas? Do you know if there might be a military ball? I have no idea. That would be a great question for Major Turner and First Sergeant Harper. All right, Kristen Ward, if we chose for our children to be virtual, will they still be able to participate in school activities on site should these resume? Yes, absolutely. And I tried to put that that point in my message last night, I think I titled a section, additional things to consider. And one of those bullets was, if you choose virtual, you can still participate in activities and athletics in person. Diane Hamilton Malazzo. Is it Malazzo or Malazzo? Will they still do the 2 days face-to-face and 2 days virtual, or will it be 5 days a week face-to-face? It will be 5 days a week face-to-face. Yep. So everything moves to 5 days. Is already moved to 5 days a week. If you remember, February 1st was the first day of the second semester, and that's when everything changed to 5 days a week. So the in-person students will be in the building 5 days a week, and the virtual students will be learning alongside them, just virtually from home, 5 days a week. Great questions, great questions, great questions. All right, looks like I'm caught up on Facebook. If I missed one, please put it back in the comments. Looks like I'm caught up on Instagram too. And my YouTube audience is radio silence over there. So good morning. If you're just tuned in with this in the background, you're not paying attention, just trying to get me some public watch hours. Thank you. I appreciate you. Good morning to everyone rolling in, everyone joining me this early morning as we all prepare for what could or could not be a crazy storm. It seems like every 5 minutes it's changing from 5 to 8 inches to 2 to 3 inches, back to 5 to 8 inches to 3 to 4 inches. I think at some point yesterday evening during the basketball game, we were watching the weather, and then it was nothing. All right, back here, Joy Prickett on Facebook. We're staying virtual. I know dual audience must be so hard for teachers. It is, absolutely. And we are so grateful that they are willing to take this on, and that classes and teachers aren't changing. It means so much to my children. Yes, Ms. Prickett, it's unbelievable what our teachers have been able to do. I mean, since March, I mean, even before March, it's in our faces right now, and it's just elucidated how amazing our teachers are. It's just incredible to admire what they've done to completely transform their practice, become virtual teachers, and then dual audience teachers, and then virtual teachers, and then dual audience teachers. And so they've absolutely taken the changes and taken on the challenge. And I know it's been extremely difficult. And so I'm going to take this moment to put in a plug that our teachers are grossly underpaid. And there is a huge push from our school division to start that salary decompression process and begin to just begin. It'll never be what they're truly worth, but just begin to pay our teachers more money. So this is the time for you to stand up for our teachers. This is the time for you to stand up and say, yes, we support, we taxpayers, we citizens of Chesterfield County, we voters of Chesterfield County, we parents of Chesterfield County public schools want our teachers to get paid more than they currently do, because it's not even close to what they should be earning, and it'll never be what they deserve or what they're worth. So this is the time to stand up. This is the time to speak up. This is the time to send that letter, send that email, make that phone call, and let your elected officials know. Let your elected officials know that we need to pay our teachers more money, and salary decompression as the first priority of the budget cannot move off of that. So this is the time. Stand up. All right, Barbara Kaminsky, thank you, Dr. Jones, and your entire staff. I do think TDHS is the best school in the county. Ms. Kaminsky, you're right. I mean, Thomas Dale is the best high school in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and I'll stand against that any day of the week, and it is because of the team. I mean, I do appreciate that I get to be the face of it, but it is not me. I cannot take credit. It is 100% our staff. It is 100% our teachers. It is 100% our support staff, like our counselors. It is our leadership team. It is our administrators. It is our front office staff. It is our custodians. It is our food service. It is hands down the team. It's not me. I just get to be the face of it. But thank you for recognizing how amazing Thomas Dale is, and it is 100% because of our of the team. Absolutely. Christina Jordan, yes, most definitely. As a mother of a child who teaches cohort 1, fight for them. Yes, absolutely. Teachers are amazing and deserve better. Yeah. So, hey, listen, I appreciate the comments on this live. Make your comments and make your voice and your opinion well known. Do not leave our school board. Do not leave our board of supervisors guessing whether or not they should put the money in the hands of teachers, because we all know they should. So let's do it. Tambra Hamlet Owen, will there be attendance limitations for sports? We haven't like set a hard and fast draw the line. We know that we're going to allow students who stay virtual to still participate in sports. So it makes it very hard. Like if your child is virtual and you attend virtual classes, you can come to practice. But if you're in person and you miss school for some reason and still attend virtual, like I don't know. Let me talk to our coaches about that. Let me talk to our club sponsors, and let me talk to our director of student activities, Mr. Tallman, on how we should approach that. It's extremely hard for me to draw a line on anything. So just let me say that I'm not going to elaborate. Just know that it's extremely hard for me to draw a line on anything. But we'll work on that and we'll communicate that out. If there's anything that should limit your child from being able to participate in anything that is co or extracurricular. Tamara Hamlet Owen, I'm thinking about spectators who do not have children playing. Oh. Thank you for clarifying, because I thought you were talking about attendance during the school day. You can tell what's on my mind constantly. Yeah, so attendance will be limited, absolutely limited. We're working on what they will be. I will tell you this, for folks who do not have children, YouTube Live will be the place to go, because we will stream all of our events live. If we have simultaneous events, some will be on YouTube, some will be on Facebook, some will be on Instagram, because we want to get as much of it out there and get as much of you as possible to be able to view. But because spectators will be limited, any spectators we bring in will be parents of the participants. I just don't know what the number is going to be. Just where I stand, I'll say it to you right now, because I'll stand on it 100% of the time. Student participation, for me, trumps audience attendance. So I want to put that out there. I want to put that out there up front, that if our students who participate as part of the experience count towards the tickets that we're allowed to have, then they will, which means that there will be less tickets for parents to come in. So we're in the process of working out how we differentiate what's what, but I want to be upfront with our community. Our students take precedence for me. Our students' participation and getting them the experience that it takes is what takes precedence for me. Everything else will be streamed live. Completely understand. Just wanted the opportunity to support Dale if possible. Yeah, absolutely. And so there are definitely ways that you can support. I mean, obviously monetarily is a way, but then also when we do stream, make sure you're tuned in. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. YouTube is kind of our primary, because it's a lot easier to stream, and especially if you want to throw it up on your TV. YouTube on your TV is a fun way to watch, and we've invested some of our resources in our equipment. If you've been watching our basketball games, you could see that we're getting better and better at what we do, and the equipment that we've purchased to make the experience as good as possible. I made a joke. Somebody was there was an issue last night with the way one of our cameras was oriented on the scoreboard, and it was brought to my attention, and of course I got defensive, and I was like, in my head I'm thinking, just remember, this isn't ESPN. Like, this is Thomasdale High School. I'm a principal. I've taught myself how to do all of this stuff, so we're getting better though. Barbara Kaminsky, just an idea, graduation parade down Route 10 for the seniors. Let them ride in cars, and community can support from the sidewalks. Absolutely. I will throw that in as some possibilities. Right now, we're in the process of brainstorming in the event that we can't have a VCU graduation. What would it be? So I'll definitely add that. So yeah, I'll definitely add that as a as a thing for me to advocate for. I believe in large scale celebrations. What we did for class of 2020 was special. It was awesome. It was, and they'll tell you it was awesome too. It was intimate. It was, getting a chance to take some up close pictures and taking the time to get the pictures so that it's not just a blur. Getting a part of the experience. A lot of our community appreciated the efficiency of it. But at the same time, like big scale celebrations matter. The thing that we're missing, that we're all missing right now, is coming together. And if we can get some ways to come together safely, I'll definitely put that on the table. So thanks for sharing that idea, Ms. Kaminsky. All right, I'm going to stay on for about 5 more minutes. I have a K-12 central office principals meeting all day today, starting at 8. So I want to get my mind right and make sure I've got my own tasks complete before I'm locked into those meetings for almost all of the day. And I owe our faculty and staff our weekly newsletter with information. I know I'm not going to be able to get it out before 8 because there's some more pieces I got to put in there. But happy to answer any more questions or thoughts. Has a date set for graduation? Christina Nickerson, no date yet. I am confident. The one thing I'm confident of is it'll be sometime during the week of June 7th. I don't know a date. I don't know a time. I don't know a location, and I don't know a format. I promise you, as soon as I do know, I will communicate. And I've shared earlier in this live session what I'll be advocating for. And Mrs. Kaminsky's idea about a graduation parade, I will definitely add to the mix of what I fight for. My first priority is to do it on the football field in the stadium, like we used to. Although I don't know what the status of the field's going to be, because we'll have a fall season that's played on that field of football and field hockey, and we'll have a spring season of soccer and lacrosse that play on that field. So there's a potential for that field to be pretty torn up. So we'll have to play it by ear. All right, I think I'm staying up. You all ask such great questions every single time. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm so grateful that you're engaged. I'm so thankful that you have the desire to be informed. We say it all the time. I mean, we lead with transparency here at Thomas Dale. No one has to guess what's going on because we tell you. And when we don't know the answer, we don't just say I don't know and we keep it moving. We tell you all the things that we do know around the I don't know, so you know exactly what we know, because we know that knowledge is power, and we believe in sharing that power. An empowered community is a strong community that can support each other, and most importantly, our kiddos. All right. If you don't have any more questions, any more comments, I'm going to sign off. Yes, Shanika Reeves 7, you are welcome. Thank you. Please let all of your friends know that 7:30 tonight I'll be back on. It's not going to be exactly at 7 because we've got a fall parents meeting from 6:30 to a fall sports parents meeting from 6:30 to 7:30. I want to be part of that, and then also any of our parents who want to tune into my live tonight don't have to choose between the fall parents sports meeting, which is mandatory, and missing any time with me. So 6:30 to 7:30 tonight is the fall sports parents meeting, and then right after that at 7:30 I'll be back on all 3 of these outlets: YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I've got a very short spiel that I'll share with everyone, and then I'll open it up to questions and answers. So tell your friends. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Thank you. Please tell parents, please tell your children I love them, and students, I love you. I hope you have an awesome day. Let's stick with it, because one click at a time, we are doing this. Peace. To make sure that I was available to discuss any of the specifics based on the